Welcome to Cooking with me, Andrea. Today we're going to be making our own hamburger helper kind of dish. So we're going to start right now with a pound of ground beef. You could do lean or not. Lean, sometimes I can find it, sometimes I can't. If I do find it, I buy it. If I don't, I don't. My pan's real hot though, because I like to get the ground beef started right away on a high heat so it'll crumble and be in smaller pieces. So we're all nice and hot, looking fantastic. So today it's going to be a hamburger or like a cheeseburger kind of hamburger helper dish. There was a point in time where I couldn't find hamburger helper in the store. And so what I did is I started making it kind of like my Sloppy Joes, you know. I couldn't find Sloppy Joe mix in the store, so I started making my own. Which actually, we actually like it better, but there is nothing wrong with a box of hamburger helper. So with my hamburger helper today, I'm using a pound of about 70, mine's not very lean today. I bought 73, couldn't find any good priced real lean beef. So basically, if you don't get to buy your real lean like I normally do, then what you're going to have to do is drain the grease. But that's about it. Remember, fat is flavor, so it won't ruin anything. Just make sure you get all the grease. That's what will ruin. Okay, so my pan has adjusted to the cold, which, like I said, I always put mine at high heat because I like my hamburger a little bit more smaller pieces than the big, thicker pieces. If it's not the way I like it, then I will take my food processor out and I will ground my meat so it's all pretty much the same size because I want consistency. So it's just cooking right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take one teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of parsley, and a half a teaspoon of celery salt. And I'm going to put it right in right now so it can all just fry together. It's going to season my meat, and there will be enough season retained in the hamburger because I'm cooking it together. So when I go to drain it, it'll be just fine. So my hamburger cheeseburger, or my cheeseburger hamburger helper, it's a good little play on a dish. It's very easy. You usually have everything in stock, so it's easy to go to. So basically what I'm going to do is brown this real nice. Then what I'm going to do is I have 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, and I am going to put that after I drain the grease and so forth. My base is going to be 3 cups of water with 2 teaspoons of beef bouillon. The reason I'm using the beef bouillon this week is I couldn't find any when I went to the store this weekend, any beef stock. And I don't usually have a lot of beef stock on hand. I usually have more chicken stock on hand than I do beef. So I said, okay, no, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to go ahead and I'll just mix my own. So this is going to be the base of my sauce for my pasta when it's time to put in. You also use 1 cup of dry pasta. I'm using Albo's. And then at the end, we're going to take 2 beautiful cups of cheddar sharp cheese and put it in there. Also, season-wise, as soon as I get everything drained and I put the meat back in the pot, we're going to add 2 big, huge tablespoons of my concentrated tomato paste. It's going to add just a really good flavor. And then we're going to take some good old garlic bread. But these are the seasons I'm using today: chili powder, garlic powder, celery salt, onion powder, parsley flakes, and then I'm going to use my beef bouillon. Just going to push those out of the way now. Okay, my hamburger's looking good. You know, I always tell people flavor, flavor, flavor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try a little piece of my hamburger because it's ready in my opinion. Perfect. Seasoning in there is great. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and get my strainer and a bowl because I'm going to have to dump this grease. quite a bit of grease in my pan because I did not use a lean hamburger. Like I said, I could not find a good lean hamburger in the store for a good price. So, in my opinion, what you do is when you don't have it on hand, you do with what you got to do. Prices are expensive. Okay, so I'm going to turn mine off. I'm going to dump my meat right into my colander. And I'm going to let it drain. Okay, I'm going to wipe the side of my pan off. I'm going to come back here and put it on. I got all the grease out. And now I'm going to show you what it looks like. You know, when you have your heat on high and you start your ground beef, it comes out so nice. It's so small. It's so uniformed. It's so delicious. And it cooks real hot. I think sometimes hamburger has to be cooked real hot. Okay, so I want to show you guys. We're back here. I'm going to take my fork just to make sure all my grease is out. I just run my fork through it. I got my bowl right underneath in case there were any grease that was trapped. Okay. This is a very easy dish. Basically, it's a cheeseburger macaroni. The only thing with mine is it's a little bit on the healthier side because we're doing everything ourselves. You guys could also use fresh onion and fresh garlic. I chose to use all powdered so it'd be easy. Not only that, I know everybody normally has garlic powder and onion powder in their cabinet. I just want to show you that's a lot of grease. That's why you have to dump it. But there really is no difference. If you can't find lean, use that. Just get the grease out of it. Okay, so now we have everything mixed real nice. Our ground beef is real nice and small. Everything looks great. So I'm going to turn mine back on. I'm going to put it on a medium this time and start. Okay, this is where I'm going to get my tomato paste going in here. And I'm going to show you. 2 tablespoons is quite a bit. Oh, but boy, I sure love this little squeeze tube. Because now I don't have to open my whole can of tomato paste. And then this is just like a toothpaste, you know, little container. You can roll it up all nice after you're done throwing everything in. I put 2 tablespoons. Now I'm going to just drizzle a little bit more. That's it. We're good. And then I'll straighten it all out. It'll be all nice and pretty. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just stir it around a little bit. And then I'm going to add my liquid. Reason I did it this way is, like I said, I couldn't find beef broth in the store. The only one I could find was fat-free, and I didn't want fat-free, so I said, I'll just make it myself. Plus, it's nice when you can make things yourself at home and you don't have to go to the store for just one ingredient. Okay, here's our beef broth granules. We're going to go ahead and just stir it in. That's going to add some salt too. So I'm not going to salt this anymore because remember I have celery salt in here and now I have this bouillon. Now, my opinion, beef bouillon adds a little bit more flavor and it adds more salt content. So that's why you have to kind of be careful. That's why I don't want to add too much. Now we're going to take our beautiful 1 teaspoon of chili powder and 1 teaspoon of garlic. We're going to add it in. It's going to give it a little bit of flavor. I didn't do too crazy on the spices because I wanted everybody to be able to eat it. Little kids, anybody who doesn't even want spice. There's not spice in here. Really, it's just flavoring. Now, this is where you want to become creative when you start making these dishes yourself. You don't need a box. You don't have to rely on a box. You could just have everything here from home, not have to worry about going to the store. Just go ahead and take everything out you need. It's actually super simple. There's not very many ingredients. It's actually very inexpensive. So now that I have everything incorporated, I'm going to take my 1 cup of dried noodles. I'm going to put it in here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my heat up. Okay. And I'm going to get this to a boiling point, and then I'm going to turn it down. And then what I'm going to do is cook it for about 15 minutes. Just let it sit here. After I get it all nice and boiled, I'm going to put it up to a, put it down to a medium. I'm going to put it up to a high right now, get it boiling. And then we're just going to let it sit, and we'll come back and we'll try the flavor and see if we need to add anything else. But otherwise, it's almost to a boil right now, so it'll be just a minute. And as soon as I take it to boil, we'll go ahead and we'll be back in 15 minutes. But I want you to see it has to get up to a boil, just like if you were going to do hamburger helper from the box. And it'll, like I said, it'll come up fast. But, oh, it smells delicious. And you can see the herbs. Smells really good. This one's not quite like you need smell TV because it's boiling, you know, but it smells pretty delicious. But it's actually a fun concept. This is a good thing to do with grandkids, kids. You guys can make it together. Somebody could throw the cheese in after everything's done. But this is a fun meal to make. It's a fast, inexpensive meal, and you could do it with anything: ground turkey, ground chicken, and you'd be good to go. Okay, we are doing good. Okay, we got some boiling going on here. We're good. Okay, we're going to be back in about 15 minutes. Welcome back. We're about half a minute out. Everything is tasting pretty good. Now remember, this is for you guys to try and make your own hamburger helpers at home when you can't find it. I'm going to try it just for a second. I haven't even put the cheese in it. Everything's tasting good. You know, I always worry when I do my noodles this way and do it like how they teach you on a hamburger helper. You know, I always would start my own noodles and cook my own noodles first and then just dump them into my mixture. Okay, my noodles are done. So it took, we got 32 seconds left. I put it on for 15 minutes. Okay, I just want you to take a look at it, how it looks here now. Look at that. That looks beautiful. Now what we're going to do is timer's going to go off. I'm going to drop mine down to low. And I'm going to put my cheese in. And I'm going to incorporate my cheese. And all I want this cheese to do is warm up, and I'm ready to serve. It was that simple. Basically, pound of hamburger, cup of dried elbow macaroni noodles, 2 cups of cheese, and some seasonings, which I'll put everything in the description box. Now I'm going to turn my pan off, and I'm just going to actually move my pan back so we could just see it. Oh, look at nice and cheesy. This is my cheesy hamburger, my own hamburger helper. This is a fun thing to make. It's easy to make and inexpensive, relatively inexpensive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out here so we could try a little bit. And I'll tell you guys a secret too. If you're not a big cheddar cheese fan like this, then get the liquid cheese. It's a premium. I believe it's called Rico's, and it's a premium cheddar. And it's really good as well. I went ahead and I cut a piece of bread. We had sourdough from the night before. So I went ahead and cut it. And then I buttered it. And that's the kind of dinner we would have. So I'm just going to give this a taste. Tastes great. It's really cheesy. I used a sharp cheese. You can taste the sharp cheese. There is definitely enough salt. I want to add some pepper to my dish. And I'm going to give it one more taste. The pepper just even does even more for it. So, if you like this content, if you could please like and subscribe, I'd be so grateful. Thank you and enjoy.